Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and start coding the back sprite that we've created. So to do this, I'm just going to go ahead and make a new variable, and we're going to use it for all sprites, and we're going to call this stop. We're going to go ahead and click on OK, and we're going to start this code by setting up what we want it to do. So we're going to use when green flag is clicked. We're going to go into looks. We're going to go ahead and show. We're going to add a go to front layer. We're going to add a go backward 6 layers since we want to make sure that it's exactly where we want it. And then we're going to go inside of the blue motions tab, and we're going to add a go to X and Y block that we're going to fill in with the already filled in numbers that we already begin with. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go ahead and actually change this for right now. We can always move it back if we need to. But the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to go to the yellow events tab, and we're going to add a when I receive walk. We're going to go ahead and go into variable, and we're going to set our stop to 0. We can also check this off. We don't actually need this on. We're going to go into the blue motions tab and add another go to XY block, which is going to be both 0, 0. And then we're going to just reestablish to make sure that everything is exactly where it needs to be. So instead of looks, we're going to add a go to front layer, and we're going to add a go backward 6. So reestablish just means we're just redoing a little bit of the code that you see up here just to make sure that even though when the green flag is clicked, when we start what we want it to do for our animation, for our background, it's still starting with the same stuff that we began with. Underneath this, we're going to go into control, and we're going to add a forever. And then we're going to go ahead and create clone of myself because we want this to continue going as the player moves. We're going to add a repeat until underneath that. And inside of the diamond shape, we're going to go into operators, and we're going to add an OR. For both sides, we're still going to be inside of operator. On the left-hand side, we're going to go ahead and use the equal sign. And on the right-hand side, we're going to use the less than symbol. Starting with the first empty bubble closer to the repeat until, we're going to go into the variables tab, and we're going to add the stop bubble. The 50, we're going to change to a 1. The empty bubble for the next one, we're going to go inside the blue motions tab and change this to the X position since that's where it's going to be moving. If you see here, it's going to be moving left and right. And then the 50, we're changing to negative 480 since we want to make sure that it goes past it. We're going to add inside the repeat until a change X by, and we're going to go into operators and add a division. Inside of the empty bubble on the left, we're going to change this to speed difficulty, and on the other side, we're going to change this to 30. Once we're done underneath, we're going to go into the blue motions tab, and we're going to add a set x2, and we're going to change this to 480. So that way it starts all the way from the beginning, and it moves all the way to the right-hand side. Now that we have this, we need to tell exactly what we want our clones to do. So under this, we're going to go inside of control, and we're going to add a when I start as a clone. Under that, we're going to go inside the blue motions tab, and we're going to add a set x to 480. Once we've done that, we're going to again just put a couple of stuff as precautions. So just to make sure stuff doesn't move. So we're going to add a go to front layer and a go backward 6 layers. Once we're done with that, we're going to add another repeat until. So we're going to go into control. We're going to add this here. Inside of the diamond shape of the repeat until, we're going to be adding something similar to what we did here. So we can just go ahead and duplicate what we have, just so that we don't have to redo the same code. And we can add it inside of the repeat until. So the only thing that we'll need to change is this negative 480. We're going to change to 0 instead. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is inside of the repeat until, we're going to go inside of the blue motions tab. We're going to add a change X by. Inside of the bubble, we're going to use the division symbol like we did before. And then on the left-hand side, on the variable, we're going to change this to speed difficulty. And on the right-hand side, we're going to make this 30. Underneath that, we're going to go into control and add an if then. Inside of the if then, we're going to go into operators and use the equal sign. The 50 we're changing to a 0. And the variable, and the empty bubble, we're going to go to the variables tab and add the stop bubble. And then inside, we're going to go ahead and add a create clone of myself. So we're going to find that in control. So if I receive the stop equals 0, we're going to keep creating clones of ourselves. And then we're going to go ahead and again repeat the similar code that we have here. So we're going to go ahead and right click duplicate. We're going to go ahead and add this underneath. This extra bit that we had here because of the duplication, we're going to go ahead and delete. And then this 0 that we have here, we're changing to negative 480, just to make sure that it's constantly repeating the same motion. And then at the very end, we're going to add a delete this clone. So now that we have this, we won't be able to obviously test it out because nothing is calling this walk